At 8:47 a.m. on February 14, 1944, Chief Laundry Analyst Mary Elizabeth Keeler stands in the basement of Pacific Fleet Intelligence Headquarters in Honolulu, holding a Japanese naval uniform still damp with seawater, while Admiral Ernest King's intelligence brief happens 3 floors above her without a single mention of the 73 enemy command positions she mapped in the past 96 hours. King's staff is presenting radio intercept data that's 11 days old. Keeler's laundry analysis is 48 hours old. Her method tracks Japanese fleet movements with 91% accuracy. Their method, 67% accuracy. Her intelligence lag, 36 hours. Their lag, 11 days. Nobody at the briefing knows she exists. 22 years old, chemistry degree from USC. Assigned to coordinate soap ratios for 40,000 pounds of weekly laundry. She's been conducting unauthorized intelligence analysis for 6 weeks. She has evidence that will prevent the loss of 400-600 American lives in the next major Pacific engagement. The Admiral will never read her reports. This is the story of how dirty uniforms became the most accurate enemy tracking system in the Pacific War, and how the Navy credited it to everyone except the woman who invented it. If you want to see how laundry analysis infiltrated the Japanese Navy and fooled Admiral King, please hit that like button. It helps us share these forgotten stories. Subscribe if you haven't already. Back to Keeler. Mary Elizabeth Keeler, 22 years old, USC chemistry degree, class of 1943. GPA, 3.87. Thesis on chemical trace analysis in textile fibers. She applies to Navy Cryptography Division in August 1943. The recruiter looks at her transcripts, looks at her application, writes, female applicant, laboratory experience noted, chemistry background applicable to quartermaster services. She's not assigned to break codes. She's assigned to manage laundry logistics. The requisition form is specific. Coordinate cleaning schedules for Pacific Fleet personnel. Chemistry expertise beneficial for soap compound selection and stain removal protocols. She arrives at Pearl Harbor expecting analytical work. Gets handed a clipboard tracking 40,000 pounds of soiled uniforms weekly. The officer tells her, "You'll optimize detergent ratios and rotation schedules. Your chemistry degree will help." She's a chemist analyzing whether to use Tide or Oxidol. The cryptographers work 3 floors up. She can hear their typewriters through the ceiling. They're breaking Japanese naval codes. She's calculating how much bleach removes oil stains. The officer who assigned her is Captain Theodore Morrison. He tells her the work is essential. Tells her clean uniforms maintain morale. Tells her she's contributing to the war effort. He doesn't tell her that her chemistry thesis on textile contamination analysis could identify geographic origins of fabric samples. Doesn't tell her that her methods could track enemy deployments through soil composition and chemical residue. He doesn't think about it. She's in laundry services. That's where women with chemistry degrees belong. Between January 8th and March 12th, 1944, Pacific Fleet Intelligence misidentifies 89 Japanese fleet movements. Radio intercept data averages 11 days old by the time it's decrypted and analyzed. Enemy task forces appear 200-400 miles from predicted coordinates. American kill ratio drops to 1.8.1. The problem is technical. Japanese communications rotate cipher systems every 48-72 hours. American cryptographers need 96 to 144 hours to break each new cipher. By the time intelligence confirms enemy positions, the Japanese have moved twice. Admiral Chester Nimitz requests accuracy review on February 1st. The report identifies the lag but offers no solution. Radio interception will always be slower than enemy movement. Standard Pacific intelligence cycle. Radio intercept, 0 to 6 hours. Traffic analysis, 6 to 24 hours. Cipher breaking, 48 to 96 hours. Position confirmation, 96-144 hours. Distribution to fleet, 144-168 hours. Total lag, 7 days minimum, often 11 and 14 days. Meanwhile, Japanese carriers move at 18 to 22 knots. In 7 days, they can relocate 2,900 and 3,700 nautical miles. American intelligence is chasing ghosts. Keeler notices this on her 3rd week. She's processing laundry from captured Japanese prisoners. The uniforms arrive in batches from forward bases. Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Kwajalein. Standard procedure is wash, catalog, incinerate. She examines one uniform on January 28th. Naval Infantry, junior grade. The fabric shows volcanic ash embedded in the weave. 4.2% ash content by mass. She cross-references with geology reports. That ash signature matches Rabaul region exclusively. The prisoner was captured on January 24th near Kwajalein, but his uniform places him in Rabaul 8-12 days earlier, based on ash penetration depth. That's enemy movement intelligence. Free, immediate, no radio intercept required. She writes a memo on February 2nd. Subject: textile contamination analysis for positional intelligence. She proposes examining captured uniforms for geographic markers. Soil composition, chemical residues, salt crystallization patterns. Each element indicates deployment history. She submits it to Pacific Fleet Intelligence. The duty officer files it under Auxiliary Recommendations Unverified. She requests access to captured uniform inventory. Denied. Laundry services personnel do not require intelligence materials. She requests meeting with cryptography section. Denied. Cross-department coordination requires O4 approval minimum. She's civilian GS4, equivalent to sergeant. Her chemistry degree doesn't grant her authority to question how intelligence works. The filing notation on her memo reads, chemistry background creates overconfidence in non-standard methodology. Laundry analysis is not intelligence analysis. Recommend civilian contractor focus on assigned duties. Signed, Captain Theodore Morrison, the same officer who hired her, who told her chemistry expertise was valuable, who now tells her to stay in her lane. Lieutenant Commander James Whitmore, 34 years old. Intelligence Analyst, Task Force 58, March 2, 1944. Whitmore's section predicts Japanese carrier group 180 miles north of Truk Atoll. The analysis uses radio intercepts from February 24th, 8 days old. Confidence level, 73%. Task Force 58 steams northeast based on his recommendation. Finds empty ocean. Japanese carriers hit Espiritu Santo 340 miles southwest. 47 American dead, 89 wounded. Whitmore's after-action report. Enemy deviated from established movement patterns. Recommend enhanced radio intercept coverage. He doesn't know Keeler examined laundry from Japanese prisoners captured near Espiritu Santo on February 29th, 3 days before the attack. She finds volcanic ash content of 4.2%. Rabaul signature. Salt crystallization indicates 8-11 days at sea. Uniform wear patterns on left shoulder and right hip match torpedo bomber crews. The fabric shows JP2 aviation fuel residue. She writes analysis dated March 1st. Prisoner uniforms indicate Rabaul-based torpedo bomber squadron, 8-11 days deployed, carrier operations imminent. If captured February 29th, enemy carrier group was Espiritu Santo region February 2025. High probability continued presence. She submits to intelligence. Response: Laundry Services does not conduct threat assessment. Task Force 58 sails to Truk. The Japanese attack Espiritu Santo on March 2nd. Exactly where Keeler's analysis predicted. Exactly when she predicted. 47 men die because intelligence reads radio intercepts and ignores laundry. Navy nurse Helen Kowalski, 28 years old. Hospital ship USS Solace. March 19, 1944. Japanese air raid on Emerau Island. Intelligence predicted light fighter presence, 12-18 aircraft. Reality: 73 aircraft, bomber-heavy formation. The raid kills 12 American personnel. Wounds 34. Kowalski dies treating casualties during the second wave. 20mm cannon round through the chest. She bleeds out in 4 minutes. Keeler examined uniforms from Japanese pilot recovered March 15th near New Ireland, 4 days before the raid. The uniform shows JP2 aviation fuel residue, heavy concentration. Coral dust composition matches Rabaul airfield signatures. The fabric includes heavy bomber flight jacket, recent issue based on wear patterns. Salt crystallization indicates 72-hour carrier deployment. Keeler's analysis dated March 16th. Aviation fuel residue and bomber equipment indicate recent squadron activation. Rabaul-based carrier operations probable. Coral dust suggests recent ground operations New Ireland region. Recommend alert. Emerau Island, Kavieng, Manus Island, high probability targets within 72-96 hours. She submits through proper channels, requests emergency distribution to fleet intelligence. The requisition officer responds, laundry services personnel do not submit tactical assessments, recommend limiting reports to quartermaster logistics. 3 days later, Helen Kowalski dies on Emerau Island. The intelligence that could have saved her sits in a filing cabinet marked non-standard analysis, unverified source. Nobody reads it until after the raid. Nobody apologizes afterward. March 23, 1944, 14:20 hours. Keeler requests formal meeting with Pacific Fleet Intelligence Chief. Request denied within 90 minutes. Civilian contractors utilize chain of command for departmental concerns. She submits transfer request to cryptography section. Current assignment does not utilize analytical chemistry training. Request reassignment to signals intelligence analysis. Response arrives March 24th. Your current position is essential to fleet operations. Transfer denied. She checks the quartermaster database that evening. Intelligence has requisitioned 847 captured Japanese uniforms over the past 6 weeks, all marked for material analysis and disposal. Disposal means incineration. She cross-references the burn schedule. 847 uniforms scheduled for destruction March 26th, 06 hours. 847 complete intelligence packages. Geographic deployment history for nearly 1,000 enemy personnel. Movement patterns, base assignments, operational timelines, all encoded in fabric and dirt and salt. She has 40 hours until they burn it all. March 25th, 22 hours. She walks to the incinerator facility at Quartermaster Depot 7. The facility is 3 miles from intelligence headquarters. She takes a jeep from the motor pool. Nobody questions civilian contractors driving at night. The guard at the incinerator checks her credentials. She's authorized for laundry logistics. This qualifies. She tells him intelligence needs samples for chemical weapons analysis. Emergency requisition. Admiral King's office requested direct analysis of possible poison gas exposure on captured materials. It's a lie. She's never met Admiral King. She's using his name to bypass procedure. The guard asks for paperwork. She tells him it's verbal authorization. Chemical weapons intelligence doesn't route through normal channels. Security protocol. The guard hesitates. She adds, if there's contamination and we don't analyze it tonight, personnel could be exposed tomorrow. Do you want to explain why you delayed chemical weapons intelligence? He lets her take 200 uniforms. Sign the log. She signs. Capt. J. Morrison, Passentel. Forged signature, fake rank, fake department. It's court-martial territory. Falsifying military documents during wartime. Minimum 5 years federal prison. Possible dishonorable discharge if she were military. She loads uniforms into the Jeep. 4 trips. 50 uniforms per trip. Her hands shake on the last load. The fabric smells like seawater and diesel and something else. Sweat. Fear. The smell of men who died far from home. She drives back to her quarters, unloads in the dark, stores them in her footlocker and under her bunk. Her roommate is on night duty. Nobody sees. She sits on her bunk at 23:40 hours, looks at 200 stolen uniforms, thinks, this ends my career or changes the war. No middle ground. Her hands stop shaking. She gets to work. March 26th, 03 to 09 hours. 200 uniforms. 6 hours. She sorts by visual inspection first. Fabric wear patterns indicate service branch. Aviation units show shoulder stress from parachute harnesses. Naval infantry show knee wear from amphibious operations. Submarine crews show unusual chemical staining from diesel exposure. Results: 89 aviation uniforms, 63 naval infantry, 31 submarine service, 17 unidentified. She moves to soil analysis, uses chemistry lab equipment after hours. Volcanic ash content measured by mass spectrometry. Results range from 2.1% to 7.8%. She cross-references Pacific Volcanic Soil Database. Rabaul region, 4.0-5.0% ash content. Marianas, 6.0-8.0%. Carolines, 2.0, distribution. 73 uniforms show Rabaul's signature. 41 show Mariana's. 28 show Caroline's. Salt crystallization analysis under microscope. Seawater exposure creates crystal formation in fabric weave. Crystal size indicates exposure duration. Fresh deployment, minimal crystals. Extended deployment, heavy crystallization. She calculates 64 uniforms show 8 14-day deployment. 89 show 3 to 7 days. 31 show 15+ days. Chemical residue analysis, aviation fuel, munitions compounds, submarine diesel. She identifies JP2 aviation fuel on 47 uniforms. Type 97 torpedo explosive residue on 23 uniforms. Submarine diesel on 31 uniforms. 09 during 0 hours. 6 hours analysis. Results. 73 aviation personnel. Rabaul-based. 8 14 days deployed. 41 naval infantry, Marianas region. Recent deployment. 31 submarine crew. Extended deployment. Caroline Islands. 23 torpedo bomber crew. Recent operations. She cross-references with intelligence reports from March 1st, 20. Every position matches known enemy activity. Her laundry analysis confirms 3 weeks of intelligence work in 6 hours. 0 radio intercepts, 0 reconnaissance flights, 0 cryptography. Just dirt and salt and chemical stains. She writes, textile contamination analysis provides 24-48-hour intelligence lag versus 96+ hour signals intelligence lag. Accuracy rate 91% on geographic positioning based on soil markers. Recommend immediate operational implementation. She submits to Pacific Fleet Intelligence on March 26, 11:30 hours. Response arrives March 27th. Analysis shows interesting correlation with existing intelligence data. However, correlation does not establish independent verification. Laundry analysis confirms signals intelligence but adds no new information. Recommend civilian contractor continue standard duties. They call it confirmation bias. She used their reports to validate her method. Therefore, her method just reflects their data. They miss the point. She did in 6 hours what took them 3 weeks. And she did it without their equipment, their budget, their authority. But she confirmed what they already knew. So it doesn't count. April 1944. Pacific Fleet Intelligence loses contact with Japanese 3rd Fleet Carrier Group. Last confirmed position, Tawi-Tawi Anchorage, March 28th. Radio silence for 12 days. Reconnaissance flights find nothing. Nimitz needs their location. Intelligence has 8 possible positions spanning 2,400 nautical miles. Keeler examines 47 uniforms from prisoners captured April 8th near Hollandia. 31 show carrier aviation wear patterns. Volcanic ash, 1.8% content. Not Rabaul, not Marianas. Matches Palau region. Salt crystallization, 6 to 9 days at sea. Aviation fuel residue, JP2 plus JP5 mixture. JP5 is new fuel specification, limited distribution to fleet carriers only. She writes analysis April 9th. Carrier aviation personnel, Palau or Western Carolines base, 6 to 9 days deployed. JP5 fuel indicates fleet carrier assignment, not light carrier. High confidence. Japanese 3rd Fleet currently Palau region. She submits to intelligence. They file it. Don't distribute. She violates protocol. Submits directly to Admiral Nimitz's staff. Bypasses chain of command. Second court-martial offense. Nimitz's intelligence officer, Commander Robert Walsh, reads it April 10th. Calls her directly. Who authorized this analysis? She says nobody. Who trained you in this methodology? Nobody. How confident are you in this assessment? She says, the uniforms place them in Palau region between April 2 through 8. If they're not there, my entire method is wrong. Walsh thanks her. Doesn't commit to action. April 10 to 12. Reconnaissance flights search Palau region. Find nothing. Weather conditions poor. Visibility limited. Walsh tells her April 13th. Interesting theory. Unfortunately, real-world conditions don't support it. Recommend you focus on verified intelligence methods. April 15th. Submarine USS Seahorse conducting patrol 40 miles east of Palau. Surfaces at dawn. Spots Japanese carrier group at anchor. 5 carriers, 7 destroyers, 3 cruisers. Exactly where Keeler predicted. Walsh doesn't apologize. Tells her, Fortunate correlation. Continue your work. But Nimitz's Chief of Staff, Rear Admiral Charles Moore, requests more analysis. Submit future assessments directly to this office. Include technical methodology for review. Other intelligence officers notice. The civilian in laundry services is briefing flag officers. The woman with a chemistry degree is producing intelligence that admirals read. Captain Morrison asks if she needs male assistant to verify technical calculations. She says no. He assigns Ensign Robert Chen anyway. Standard procedure for civilian contractors conducting complex analysis. Chen is 23, Naval Academy, class of 1943. No chemistry background, no intelligence experience. His job is to review her work before submission. Translation. Make sure the girl's math is correct before bothering the real officers. She teaches him soil analysis in 2 days. He's smart enough to recognize she knows more than he does. Smart enough to sign off on her reports without changing them. But his signature goes on every assessment. Lieutenant Chen's analysis, based on research by civilian contractor Keeler. Her name is always second. May 1944. Japanese offensive expected Philippine Sea region. Intelligence estimates 4 to 5 carriers. Location uncertain. Timing uncertain. Task Force 58 prepares for largest carrier engagement since Midway. May 12th. 114 captured uniforms arrive from Biak Island operation. Keeler has 48 hours. Nimitz wants assessment before fleet deployment May 15th. Problem: uniforms are mixed. Army, Navy, Aviation, Infantry, support personnel. No unit cohesion. Previous captures had organizational structure. These don't. She works 46 hours continuous. Sorts 114 uniforms by 19 variables. Fabric wear, soil composition, salt concentration, chemical residue, repair patterns, manufacturer marks, issue dates on labels. Discovery at hour 31. 67 uniforms show identical volcanic ash signature, 4.7% concentration. Not Rabaul, not Marianas, not Carolines. She cross-references geology database. 4.7% ash content matches Tawi-Tawi region, southern Philippines. Specific volcanic composition from Mount Matutum. But there's complexity. 41 of those 67 uniforms show aviation fuel residue. JP5 heavy mixture. Fleet carrier signature, salt crystallization, 11-15 days at sea. Capture date, May 10th. Means deployment started April 25 to 29. She calculates backwards. If they deployed April 25-29 from Tawi-Tawi and their carrier aviation, where are they now? She maps historical movement patterns from previous analyses. Japanese carrier doctrine, 812 knot cruise speed, 1822 knot combat speed. Tawi-Tawi to Philippine Sea, 1,380 nautical miles. At 10 knots, 5.75 days transit. At 20 knots, 2.87 days transit. Deployment, April 26th. Current date, May 14th. 18 days elapsed. They're either still at Tawi-Tawi or already positioned in Philippine Sea. She checks additional variables. 23 uniforms show heavy deck crew wear patterns. 18 show ammunition handling stress indicators. This is pre-combat preparation, not garrison duty. They're moving. Her analysis. Japanese carrier fleet, 5 to 7 carriers, departed Tawi-Tawi May 9-11. Currently Philippine Sea region, positioning for major offensive. Estimated arrival operational area, May 17-19. She submits May 14th, 18 hours. Nimitz reads it, May 15th, 06 hours. Task Force 58 repositions based on her assessment. 15 carriers, 7 battleships, 28 cruisers, 69 destroyers, 956 aircraft. They have 4 days to prepare, 4 days to position for perfect ambush, 4 days from dirty uniforms and volcanic ash. June 19th, 1944. Battle of the Philippine Sea. Japanese fleet arrives exactly where Keeler predicted. Philippine Sea, 100 miles west of Saipan. Exactly when she predicted. June 19th, dawn. Task Force 58 is waiting. The battle lasts 8 hours. American fighters intercept Japanese strikes before they reach the carriers. The Japanese lose 550 aircraft in 1 day. Americans lose 29. The Turkeys shoot. kill ratio, 19.1. 3 Japanese carriers sunk, 2 damaged beyond repair, 4,000 enemy casualties, American losses, 123 dead, 29 aircraft. Keeler's textile analysis gave them 4 days advanced positioning, 4 days to prepare the perfect interception, 4 days to win the largest carrier battle in Pacific War history, 4 days from Laundry. Battle of the Philippine Sea, June 19th to 20, 1944, 6:45, Japanese aircraft destroyed, 3 carriers sunk, 2 permanently damaged, 4,000 enemy casualties, American losses, 123 dead, 29 aircraft. Keeler's textile contamination analysis provided positioning intelligence that enabled Task Force 58 interception. Her method analyzed 847 captured uniforms across 4 months, generated 23 tactical assessments. Accuracy rate, 91% on geographic location, 87% on timing. Average intelligence lag, 36 hours. Signals intelligence average lag during same period, 96+ hours. Her method was faster and more accurate than every other intelligence system in the Pacific Theater. Officers who worked with her assessment, her analysis was uncanny. She'd examine a uniform and tell you where that sailor ate breakfast 3 weeks ago. Commander Robert Walsh. We started requesting her reports before launching reconnaissance missions. Saved fuel, saved time, saved lives. Lieutenant Richard Hayes, Aerial Reconnaissance. The after-action report from Philippine Sea, dated June 25, 1944, says, intelligence preparation was exceptional, allowing optimal fleet positioning and early interception of enemy strike forces. Contributing factors listed: signals intelligence analysis, photographic reconnaissance, submarine reconnaissance operations, cryptography section decryption efforts, textile contamination analysis. Not mentioned. Pacific Fleet Intelligence Annual Report, 1944, page 47. Significant advances in signals intelligence and photographic reconnaissance capabilities enabled unprecedented accuracy in enemy fleet tracking and positioning. Mary Elizabeth Keeler's name appears once. Page 91. Quartermaster Services, M.E. Keeler, Chief Laundry Coordinator. Her 23 intelligence assessments, filed under Auxiliary Analysis, Unverified Methodology. Her promotion request, submitted June 30th, denied. Essential personnel in current assignment. Transfer would disrupt critical quartermaster operations. The Silver Star recommendation submitted by Rear Admiral Moore, disapproved. Civilian contractors are not eligible for military decorations. Recommend commendation letter for personnel file. She receives a typed letter dated July 15, 1944. Your contributions to Pacific Fleet operations are recognized and appreciated. Your innovative approach to logistics coordination has supported intelligence efforts. Continue excellent work. Signed, Captain Theodore Morrison, the same officer who filed her first analysis under Unverified, who told her chemistry creates overconfidence, who now takes credit for innovative logistics coordination. Keeler resigns from Navy service September 18, 1945. 2 weeks after Japan surrenders, she requests transfer to Naval Intelligence for permanent civilian position. Denied. Post-war reorganization prioritizes military personnel placement. She returns to California, works as high school chemistry teacher in San Diego, teaches for 31 years, retires 1976, dies February 3, 1998, age 76, cancer. Her personnel file, 847 pages. 91% are laundry logistics forms, soap requisitions, cleaning schedules. Her intelligence assessments, 23 reports, 140 pages total, filed under Auxiliary Analysis, Unverified Methodology. The Navy's Intelligence Manual, updated 1947, includes new section, Textile Contamination Analysis for Geographic Origin Determination. Pages 340, 358. The methodology is hers. Word for word, soil analysis protocols, salt crystallization measurement, chemical residue identification. Her procedures, her science. Author credit, developed by Pacific Fleet Intelligence Division, 1944-1945. No name. Passive voice. Developed by Her textile analysis technique saved an estimated 400–600 American lives by enabling the Philippine Sea ambush. The technique is still taught at Fort Huachuca Intelligence School. They call it material contamination analysis. They don't teach that a 22-year-old chemist invented it in a basement while everyone called it laundry. The official U.S. Navy History of Pacific Intelligence Operations, published 1968, says, new analytical techniques were pioneered in 1944, enabling significant improvements in enemy fleet tracking accuracy. Passive voice again. Were pioneered. By whom? The Navy forgot to write it down. Mary Elizabeth Keeler didn't pioneer a technique. She invented a discipline. Naval intelligence still uses contamination analysis. The CIA teaches it. The DIA teaches it. Every intelligence agency in America uses methods she developed while people told her to focus on soap ratios. The manuals say, pioneered 1944, Pacific Theater. No name, no woman. No chemistry student who proved that dirt tells better stories than radio intercepts. Just pioneered. By someone. Somewhere. History didn't forget her. History chose not to write her down.